Hey kids, I thought since we talked about Rahab and the flax that she was drying out on her rooftop, we could make something with flax. So first, I want you to pause and go and get your supplies. You're going to need either some fabric or a sock, and you probably want something to measure it with. I used my sunglasses to be a guide. I also got some paper to trace out just how big I wanted it to be. Although you can gauge, it doesn't have to be exact. I did use a sewing machine, but I also had to do some hand stitching for the parts that I didn't want to take a chance with. So this is the part that you may need a grown-up for to help you either thread your machine, or if you are proficient, you can go ahead and do it yourself. Also, I used some paper to make a cone, and this was so that there was less mess when I needed to pour my seeds into my finished bag. So yeah, what you see me doing is doing the stitching. I would suggest getting some fabric, if you're doing the sewing, that has at least one end closed, and that means you only have to stitch two of the sides. Remember, turn your fabric inside out so that you can turn it once you stitch those seams. You're going to leave the top part open. And what I also did was I stitched in the center so that my bag would be foldable. Once I had filled everything, I used some blanket stitching just to stitch the top. Remember, your stitches are going to have to be quite close together so that your seeds don't fall out, which is why I would recommend machine stitching or using a back stitch. Maybe your parent or grown-up in your house can help you with that. Once you've done the filling, you get to stitch over the top, and that'll seal everything in. There you can see my not so fabulous blanket stitching. The next pillow I made was the sunglass one, and this is really just an eye pillow. This is the one that I actually put the flax seeds in. So I cut it and then notched out a little spot for my nose so that it wouldn't slide down. You don't have to do this, because if you're lying down, then it's probably not going to go anywhere. I used some pins just to keep everything in place so that my seeds wouldn't fall out, although I did lose some seeds. I did the same thing as I did with the bigger bags and stitched on either side of the middle so that my pillow would be foldable. And then I did iron my seams so that they could be flatter and easier to sew together. I did machine stitch the top of the eye pillow, but I also hand stitched just to close it up. Then I used some fabric paint, and on one of them, because I am going to use this as a Mother's Day present for my mom, I hand painted "More precious than rubies" from Proverbs 3:15. For the bag that I kind of messed up on, I actually hand painted a cover to slip it into. That's it.